Welcome to the True Love Secrets Revealed interview series with experts in the areas of love, dating, relationship. Today we have Emilia Nagy with us. She is a dating, relationship, and marriage mentor to feminine leaders who want to live a divine union with their masculine counterpart. Thank you so much, Emilia, for being here.
Hi, Natalia. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for putting this on. Thank you so much for creating this beautiful event. I'm so honored and happy to be here.
Thank you. Likewise. So I read a post of yours, a blog post that really resonated with me. And I was just happy dancing here because I'm like, yes, this is so precious. And the post, you were talking about how holding the energy of lack around love.
Yeah, well, I just work with so many really powerful, really creative, really ambitious women. And sometimes I see these creative spiritual women use those gifts, those creative spiritual gifts, not in the service of creating their desired relationship, but the kind of like they use them against themselves. And so it's like, for example, if they were to say, well, I'm a Pisces and I'm so sensitive, like I used to believe this. I used to believe I was too sensitive. I used to think I was too creative. I thought I was too big. I thought my energy was too big. You know, I've heard clients tell me like, well, I'm this and this in human design, and so therefore like I think it was like the small percentage of human design I think is a projector. Well, I'm a projector, and so it doesn't work for me average dating. And it's like, okay, is that really true? Like, can you be absolutely sure that it's true? Like, that's the work that Byron Katie does, and I use sometimes, because sometimes women, like you said, they get themselves in this box. I'm too old. I thought I was too old when I was 33. you know I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too independent, I'm too this, I'm too that. So the idea is to take our spiritual creative gifts and our knowledge and understanding and wisdom and use it for ourselves. You don't use it in service of our vision, in service of our desire, in service of what we want to create, by saying, okay, yeah, so maybe I'm an XYZ human design, or I'm this in astrology, but I can still create a satisfying and a fulfilling love life because I'm devoted, or because I'm going to learn whatever I need to learn to do that, or because I'm on my way and the divine is working in my corner and putting the wind in my sails, or because I have creative power and I'm going to use it to create that in my life, right? Like, so we can affirm the positive for ourselves rather than the negative.
Right. How beautiful. I love it. I love it. Just affirm the positive and leave the negative. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And also when you were saying that, it reminded me of something personal that I have seen through my own evolution, through my own growth as a woman. I am going to be 50 in January, so I have been around quite a bit, not enough, but quite a bit. So I noticed that about every 10 years, there is a big change in me. And at the beginning, I didn't know, I just rode the wave. But in the past 2 decades, I really noticed how, so things that I was so sure that I was in this way, or that, I don't know, in my 20s, I was a yogini, and that, oh my God, I was going to be doing yoga forever. And then in the 30s, I became a runner, and I started doing, triathlons, and, I completely changed about, every 10 years or so. So that's why I think putting ourselves in a box and saying, I am this way or I am that way, it's so limiting, like you said. So thank you so much for sharing that. Another thing of the many things I like about your work, Emilia, is that you do work with the feminine energy in a way that is really, I find it to be different than many other people. You are very unique. I believe you embody it. When I see you,
Yeah.
I see a goddess. That's what I see. And
Ooh.
I love that. I get goosebumps. I really mean it.
Aw.
And so I really like that kind of work you do, that point of view. And something that I have noticed with the feminine energy is that, as you know, there is a shadow of the feminine. And how I
Mhm,
know that so much is because I was trapped in that. I have always been very feminine. Now, I
mhm,
haven't been always been on the light part of the feminine. I used to be more trapped on the shadow and waiting. That was the how it was expressing in my life. So could you talk a little bit about that? How waiting waiting for a man to come to save us, waiting to be ready, like, oh no, Natalia, I am not ready yet to date, I'm not ready to find him, waiting for something X, Y, or Z to happen, waiting to live in the right place, waiting to be the right body shape, waiting to whatever it is. It takes different forms and shapes. So have you noticed that? And how can somebody, a woman that is trapped, maybe one of our viewers is in that situation where she feels this calling, she has this desire of being in a relationship with a divine masculine, with a great guy, and but then there is this other voice that says, oh, wait until you get there, whatever there is. Could you please talk a little bit about that, and say how can we snap out of that false way of thinking, in my opinion?
mhm. Well, I think there are two aspects that come with the waiting. And one is perfectionism and people pleasing, which I'll talk about in a second. And the other one has to do with when you talk about the dark feminine, it has to do with believing that in order to be in our feminine energy, we have to submit or we have to lean back and
Mhm.
not do anything. And I used to not believe that, but I remember when I first started dating in my feminine energy, it felt so limiting because I couldn't like do the thing that I was doing before, which is make things happen, call that guy, go on that date, right? And I committed to doing that because I wanted to attract a masculine husband. And the way I was before that, I was not attracting masculine men. I was attracting feminine men who wanted me to babysit them and wipe their butt. And I did not want to do that. And so, that was my change. But I think when when women have that, when they really start to lean into their feminine, it's not a submission or surrender in the sense that you don't take action. It's in the sense that your action is a way of creating, but it's creating by inviting and creating space. And that's actually a very sacred action to take. And it's something that we don't learn very much in our world how to do. And so when we first come in touch with the feminine energy, we might perceive, because in our world, most women have to have jobs. Like we go to school, we get jobs, we work. A lot of our jobs are masculine because it's produce, 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 and that requires masculine energy, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not the end of the world that you have a masculine job, because that can be fun too, right? Like masculine energy and creating, producing results is fun, can be fun too. But my point is, like, when we're so used to that energy, it's so hard for us to go into the feminine form of creation, which is a different kind of creation energy. It's not a generative energy. It's more of like a receiving and reciprocating energy. And that's actually the sacred energy that we want to embody when we connect with our masculine, because we want to allow him to generate. And that could look like support, that could look like planning dates, that could look like initiating connection, right? We want to let him do that because that comes natural and it honors his natural sacred energy to do that. And then we want to give ourselves the opportunity to receive and reciprocate, receive and reciprocate. And so, because we're not generating so much, sometimes women feel like, and I know I felt this, it was like I felt impotent at one point. I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Just lie here? And that's completely not feminine energy, but it's just such a misconception because we don't have a lot of examples of what that really looks like. But one example you can think of is like, it's not a good one, but like the Spanish queens, you know, like they would send out the men. The men went with the books, they conquested, they brought back gold, they brought back spices, right? Like the women didn't do the generating and efforting, like they didn't go on the boat, go fight for the territory, right? So it's kind of like this concept of leaning into your feminine isn't necessarily impotent. It's just a different form of creating and co-creating with masculine energy, which is really cool. And it works really well. And in fact, it's kind of like, you know, energy in life is always flowing. And so if we can allow that, and we can allow that from life, if we can allow that from God, if we can allow that from the masculine, then we can be in a place where we can respond and we can receive what we want and say no thank you to what we don't want. And that's the part a lot of women forget. It's like, you know, you don't have to just, like, a lot of women come in thinking, what do I have to just take it? Like,
Right.
if they're gonna do it, if he's gonna do, if I'm gonna let him be him, then I have to just take it the way he does it. So it's like, in a way, you don't want to control how he does something, yes, but you always can say, yes, I would like this, this, and this that you're offering, but no, thank you to this, this, and this. And it's so easy, right? So women don't know, they haven't had the example, they haven't had the modeling. And so we really need I mean, I needed like somebody to show me this. Who my coach in this way, it was Allison Armstrong and Pat Allen at the time. I did a lot of work with her. And so, yeah, so that's the first thing. Whew, okay, I'm going to take a minute to get back.
Well, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. I love it. I love it. I will just say receive and reciprocate, those two words.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
receive and reciprocate. And then the other piece about the waiting. So the waiting I see a lot is women think they have to have their finances in order, think they have to have their house in order. And, you know, I always joke, well, my finances were not in order and my house was not in order, you know, when I met my husband, praise God. But my point is, you know, we also in our culture as feminine, as women, we receive a message of like, you have to be like this, you have to be like that. This is what a good woman does. This is how you keep a husband. And most of those messages are actually not healthy and not helpful. So part of this creating your sacred partnership movement that I'm like leading this revolution is we're gonna create it, but based on inside of us. Like, we're gonna go within and what do I desire? How do I want to create my partnership? What kind of partner do I want? Not so much from the outside in, letting all those outside voices tell us how it should be or what it should be, but from it within deciding what we want to experience, who we want to get to be. I love those words, who we want to get to be in our relationship and who we want to attract and who we think is going to be a compliment for us, you know. So it's a different way than the social cultural programming. So I think when women hold themselves back, yeah, it could be sometimes they're not ready because they need to heal from a past relationship, or they of coming into connection with the fact that, wait, they're just recreating their family of origin blueprint, which wasn't good, like most of us do before we work through that, right? Like I did that. A lot of my clients do that before we work through. And then they start creating from their creative power something different with their feminine energy that we talked about. So yeah, so this piece around, we're going to just release what the world tells us is valuable and create it from the inside. Like, what do I want to create in my relationship that is important to me? Do I want somebody to travel with me? Do I want kids? It's okay if you don't want kids. Do I want to adopt kids? Do I want to run a business and like have a husband that's like super supportive? Because I'm the one that, like in my case, I'm the one that has a big mission and vision. And thank God my hubby takes our little one to the doctor and does the school stuff, because then I wouldn't be able to be here doing this, right? And that works for us. Like we created that together. That's our way, that's our decision. So that's the other piece about that, is when women, they're listening to those outside voices, and that's what's stopping them. It's not their own internal sense of like, what are they creating? So then the solution would be to just get really quiet and ask yourself, wait a second, who am I? What do I want? And one of the pieces there is, in our world, unfortunately, Natalia, we don't have a lot of models for sacred union, right? We don't have, there are women who are in those relationships, but it's few and far in between. And, we have the soap operas on TV, we have the movies, but there's almost no example, not it, of what that is. So, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I say, I don't think that's an accident, right? Because when we're in our power and when our partner's in our power and we come together, 1 + 1 is not 2, it's 11. Right? We're synergizing now. We're co-creating. We're balancing each other. What we're going to co-create is the synergy. It's so much greater than the sum of its parts, right? So, right, if we're in touch with that part and we have that sacred bond with our man, and we're in a solid family structure, then maybe we're not going to go buy all the electronics and cosmetics, right? So there's all of that. So yeah, I know that was a big answer, but like, me, I like to go all the way in.
It's not a big, you are amazing. I love your answer. I wasn't expecting anything else. Let me ask you another question on the lighter side.
Okay.
How can these ladies know that they are picking the right guy? This is a question. Like, how will I know? How will I know? Because now in these times of so many choices, it's like after doing the work with us, usually they have a few possible good candidates to pick from. So how do they choose?
Well, I think this is my own teaching, but basically, if you have a man who is not, if you're a feminine woman, and if you're entertaining men in your life who are not masculine, not healthy, and not ready, then it doesn't matter if you both like to go travel. It doesn't matter if you both like yoga. It doesn't really matter if you guys both like, stuffed cabbage. It doesn't matter if he's not a healthy masculine man who's ready for a relationship, who wants a relationship. It's never going to work. And so what I teach my clients is,
and that is not said enough. Sorry to interrupt you, but that is not emphasized enough. That if he's not ready, there is no way he's going to be ready.
Yeah, we can't change it. And if he's not a masculine being, like if he's a feminine being, we're often as feminine people, we're attracted to that, but then there's no polarity. And so, we might have, and the polarity is that energy flow I was talking about the masculine generating, the feminine allowing, receiving, and reciprocating, right? And so when we end up dating a feminine guy who might be like a great friend and like really fun, and then, we end up having a sexual connection or sexual relationship, it lasts like 2 days. because there's no energy flow. This energy I call the fountain of forever. And that's why if you're a feminine woman, you need a masculine man, but you also need to get in touch with your own feminine energy so that you can be in that right energy flow, which we already talked about. So yeah, so in the Right Guide checklist, I think you're probably going to link it below my gift.
Right.
That's what I teach you. I teach you how to use online dating platforms because they're a gift to women right now because that's the fastest, easiest way, right? Like you need introductions. Okay. It's very basic. You need introductions. If you want to meet your guy, you need introductions. Like, yes, there's God. Yes, you can pray and you can ask for help and you will get it, but you also need to take action. That's your part. There's God's part and there's your part. Always, always in any manifestation, in any creation, there's your part and there's God's part. And so your part is to get introductions, get introductions, get introductions. Okay. So my Right Guide checklist is how to get multiple introductions to high quality men using online dating platforms. I know it sounds crazy. I'm sorry if you can't believe it, but it is possible. I met my hubby online. My clients meet their hubbies online. They're now married and having kids and all these things. So it really works. Now, there are a lot of healthy, good men online. Okay. And there's also a lot of unhealthy men online. It's not women ask me like, well, what website should I go to? Okay. None of them are better than any others. It's how you use that. It's like money, right? Money isn't good or bad. It's how you use it. It's the same with dating platforms. They're not good or bad. It's how you use it. So here is the Right Guide checklist, how to use online dating platforms so you can get introductions, multiple introductions to high quality masculine men, and then how to look for those three things I said. Is he masculine? Is he healthy? Is he ready? This is how you tell, following those 9 secrets I am giving in the checklist. So if you're dating, and this is how my clients meet their guy self, because they're not meeting anybody who's not at very least in his high masculine energy. And then it takes us a little bit to figure out, is he healthy and ready? But not a lot, like 3 to 5 dates. 3 to 5 dates. Usually that's why within about 10 dates, usually my girls find their guy, because it's who you go out with. It's who you're seeing, right? Like if you're seeing from this, if you're meeting like a slice of the general population of men, which is what most women do when they go online, right? They're not being selective, or they think they are, but they're looking for things like interest. Oh, I like volleyball too. He likes volleyball.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Right. So if you're looking for the things I'm telling you and not common interests and not circumstances, which is like, what kind of car does he drive, what kind of job he has, because those things change.
Right.
But you're looking for qualities. Is he kind?
Right.
Does he respect women? Is he healthy? Does he value the feminine energy in his life? Right? Like you got to change. You got to put on like a whole other set of goggles, I say, right? Like we're putting a new set of eyes that we're looking for. Is he healthy? Is he masculine? Is he ready? And does he have the qualities that I want in a partner? And so then we are selecting not from a general population a slice, okay? But we're selecting from a section of that's high quality masculine men, a slice.
Right.
And that changes your life. Like
Absolutely.
it changes your life.
Love it.
Life changer.
Love it. Couldn't be more clear. Love it. I love the way you express it. You're so articulated.
Thank you. That's my articulated side.
I have a coach crush on you.
You have a coach crush on me. Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emilia. And what Emilia is talking about, just to be crystal clear, it's the free gift you are going to be getting. It's underneath this video. So it's your guide to how to pick the guy. And she will teach you all that in detail on that guide. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for all the value you have given to the viewers. Thank you for being in partnership with us. And you are, as I said, a true feminine leader. Your light shines really bright, and I love it.
Thank you, Natalia. Likewise, likewise, likewise. It takes one to know one. So
Oh,
thank you so much for having me, and thank you for putting this on for the women that are going to be here. Because this is priceless, priceless for them.
exciting times.